can. Okay, so like I said that today we're going to talk about various things in detail. We will try to cover as much as we can. This is the agenda for today, basically. So we're going to talk about what GCP is. Before we talk about Terraform, we're going to talk about why Terraform. What is Terraform? Different tools that we use for Terraform. How you can get basically support for Terraform. Even in the GCP, before I jump on the GCP, I'm going to talk about the different components related to GCP, like what GCP is, what basically cloud computing is, and all those kind of things in detail we're going to talk about. Now let's talk about the real thing. So like I said, we are going to take a baby steps here. We are not really going to rush out with the GCP Terraform. We are going to talk about so my end goal here is, in this 1 hour webinar, again, we cannot go so beyond, because we have a limited timeline of 1 hour, but I want to make sure that at least at the end of a session your doubts are clear. Certain people in the industry, they even are not sure what GCP is. There is one of the biggest myth. People think that, oh, cloud platform is, there's only cloud platform, which is maybe Azure, because Microsoft that people widely use, or from AWS. There is solution from the Google as well. So let's talk less, and let's talk more about the content here. So before we jump on that, GCP, what exactly is GCP? Before we jump on that, let's clear out some of the doubts that people often have. What is the cloud computing? So like I said, we are going to take a baby steps here. Basic, intermediate, and advanced. Cloud computing basically means to store your data or your applications on the remote servers, to process your data or application from servers, or access data or applications via the internet. So cloud computing means that anything which lies on the cloud. Like in this example, you can see this is a person who is sitting. He want to access something. He want to access, let's say, some of the files, some of the servers, some of the shared files. He want to access something, and he want to access from a different location. For example, I wrote a code on my laptop, and I'm traveling somewhere else. I forgot my code. I forgot my code. How can I get access of it? I can access it via the cloud. So cloud basically is a platform on the internet through which you can store your files, and you can retrieve your data. For example, very very common example, you put something on your drive. What is that? That's a cloud service. So when this was initially started, this entire cloud concept was started, we started with a very small thing. Like you can put your files, you can put your certain data, like PowerPoint presentations, Word documents, certain small files which are in KBs or MBs. Then we started realizing that why we want to limit ourselves just on a file. you know because for example, it's good that you can put your files, your files can be anything, your audio files, your some media files, your like your text files, wordpad files, your Excel files, your PPTs. You can put it on the internet, but like how can we expand? So generally we just always, if you basically see in this IT industry, if we start something with a unique thing, we basically try to expand the vision. So again, this is the way, like you should always learn if you want to learn the things, and this is the way, if you think logically, this industry works. We always take baby steps. We have to start about something, we will think about something, and we will launch it. Once we are able to get a very successful thing in the market, then we will try to expand the vision. It's everything. Like if you talk about any application, you will see, like, if, for example, pdm started with just very small thing, that you can just make the payments. Later on, they started expanding their vision, because they were able to make their presence in the market, and they want to do, okay, what's next? What's the next thing that we can do? They started introducing their own mall, Paytm Mall, their own different facilities that they provide. You can book their train tickets, flight tickets. You can do a lot of things, right? So that happened with with your Paytm application, and that's the way the IT industry works. The digital industry works. We started with the cloud with a very small thing, just sharing the files. When it was introduced, you can just share the files here and there from one location to another. At that time, you used to get one some free data available. Like, still you get it, some free space on the drives. And then slowly and steadily, they started realizing, okay, now we are making a good presence in the cloud market. Now, one of the other challenge that we face is, for example, I'm a person, I have a small company, okay, hardly a company of 10 people. I recently started 1 year back. I got a good project wherein it's a contractual based project that my employees can do, and it's basically for 6 months. But for that, I need a dedicated hardware. I need a dedicated softwares. I need a dedicated environment. So I have to basically, in order to set entire things up, I basically need the hardware. First of all, I need computers. Let's say these 10 people have to work, and what I gave is I gave them an old laptop. Let's say I had a Windows XP laptops that I gave to them. Now I got a project. This is a development platform where the guys have to work on a latest technology. Let's Python and all, and they need a or maybe let's say if you leave Python, let's say they want to work on a C sharp. Okay, they have to use Visual Studio software. You know that Visual Studio basically is of gigs. Actually it's require the space in gigs. So in order to work on that, they require a dedicated machine, a laptop, or maybe desktop, with a good configuration of RAM and the hard drive. Like in the case of XP, it was not required yet. You should have a good amount of RAM. The files used to have in the KBs, if you remember those days, actually. Just in the data in the KBs. Then we started to Windows Vista from XP. We started getting the data in MBs little bit, and people used to have a like, jaw-dropping thing. Wow, data in MBs. This has a hard drive of like 60 gigs, 100 gigs, 200 gigs. Now that in this today's world, even TBs are also not sufficient if you basically work on a real lab environment. So I have to basically make an investment to get a dedicated hardware. Along with that, along with the entire hardware, I had to get a specific software installed. So I'm going to have a more hassle purchasing the hardware, purchasing the laptops, purchasing the softwares. Now, I cannot install all these 10 laptops. I'm not a, hardware assembler person. So I had to again get a technician. I had to pay for him. The third cost, like first cost is basically for the hardware. Second cost is for the software. Third cost is basically to set it up by the technician. Fourth cost is going to be maintain them. Fifth cost is going to be maybe I want to have additional tools. I need another person to maintain all those kind of and entire environment. So maybe in a long term, if I think I got a project of let's say for 6 months where I'm getting a, let's say, $10,000. If I multiply my cost, I have to basically spend $12,000. If I'm getting a project of $10,000 and I have to spend $12,000, why I want to go with that? Where I'm getting a zero profit, it's a negative. Now we realize this thing, that in the market that can be a big hassle. That's one of the use case, guys. Please focus on my words. That's one of the use case. Another use case is that let's say this actually happens actually. In the IT industry, if you work in a pre-sales department or a solution architect, you have to design the solution for your client customer. So if you have to basically download or maybe install any kind of software, that's going to be easy. But on your laptop, let's say I need to have basically a kind of a virtual machine which I want to set it up, and that virtual machine requires extra space. My laptop does not have extra space, so I built that extra virtual machine on my external hard drive, which has a plenty of space. And I built it. I spin it a new VM, let's say a Windows Server 2012, 8, 16, 19, any version, and I built the entire environment on that virtual machine. And I had to fly to a different, let's say, city or a country, and my hard drive has my entire data, my entire work. Let's say during the transit, maybe in the cab, in the flight, and during the boarding, deboarding, you lost your hard drive. You reached your client location and you don't have your data. It's going to be very embarrassing. Or let's say you have built this entire, environment on, let's say, 2, 3 laptops. Now you have to carry 2, 3 laptops. It's going to be, a little bit hassle for you, right? So we realize like how we can overcome this problem, how we can have basically basically a resource in which if we want to save the money, or if we want to basically set up something, how can we do that? So cloud computing helped us at that time. So what we did at that time is we evolved ourselves, like the concept of biology evolution. We did the same thing. We evolved ourselves. We realized why we have to limit ourselves just with files. Why we have to basically limit ourselves with just like small components. So the cloud computing, we expanded ourselves. we expanded our horizon, so what we did, we basically, went ahead. Like I said, we took a baby steps. We were able to make a great foundation. We got a great feedback from the market that it's going well, cloud computing concept. Then now the other companies came into the picture. They came into the market. Okay, we started, we can start leveraging the services wherein on the cloud you can build your own virtual machine, your own environment, the pay as you go feature. Again, different vendors came with different solutions here, and this is the way entire industry works, so they brought a solution wherein you can go to the environment, you can just create your own environment, custom environment with custom configurations, and once you have created, then you're good to go. Let's say now the first problem that I shared, where you have a project of 6 months, right? Now you just go on a cloud, you create the virtual machines. First of all, no need to purchase the bulk hardware. Second thing, no need to purchase a license of bulk machines. Third thing, no need to basically get a technician who has to basically install it, maintain it. So you are saving a lot of money. So now maybe this entire project that I got, basically instead of having an on-prem solution, that's known as on-premises, the solution which is running on your premises, instead of having on-premises, I can seriously go for the cloud solution, wherein my each and everything is basically deployed on the cloud itself. And let's say, the example that I gave you of $10,000, you have to spend $10,000, and you got a sorry, you have to spend $12,000 and you're getting a revenue of 10,000. You have a loss of 2,000, right? Now in this case, if I go with this solution, maybe I have to just spend 3,000, $4,000, and I can easily save $6,000. A good revenue, dollars all around, right? So it's a good thing, right? So that's gives you an advantage, the cloud computing. Now coming to the second problem that I shared, the guy who is a pre-sales or a solution architect, he has to travel from one location to another. He can simply basically access his resource, like he has to build the entire solution. He can go on the cloud, he can build the virtual machines. There's no need to carry the bulk data, like bulk laptops, 2 3 laptops, or external drive, or its own laptop. He can go to the company, he can in that company there's going to be a computer, he can connect that computer to a projector, he can log into his cloud account, and he can access all the resources basically. That's going to give him a very good advantage. That's the core beauty of the cloud. That's the way we are evolving, and that's not it. Don't think like that we are over. So again, I will try to share as much as I can, guys. In this 1 hour, we went a mile ahead. If you guys don't know, if you know about the KMS solutions, key management solutions, IoT, encryption decryption, the cloud has reached to that level, wherein you have the dedicated KMS, key management solution, behind the bars. And this is something very very few people are aware in the market. Even it's not like that the people who have zero knowledge, they are not aware. Even the people who have knowledge about cloud, this is a new thing that very few of the chunks of the people all over the globe have a knowledge. Cloud has reached to that level, and that's the way the other vendors are providing services. And it's not like that you have one cloud vendor, there are various cloud providers. But in a nutshell, the way how it works is, this is the way the entire cloud industry works, that you can achieve like all these things easily. It's like a pay as you go feature. Again, I'm going to talk in detail just to give you thorough understanding. Okay, so that's again one of the demonstration of cloud computing. Now you will see what I said. I hope you can see my cursor here. This is basically the cloud world. You see this, something looks like cloud. Starting from your computer, the things that you can do on your, that's the way I try to demonstrate it here. In the visualization, it will give you a clear idea. Starting from your, you see basically your laptops, to desktops, to tablets, to mobile phones, to your uh, emails, to your Excel sheets, your virtual machines. Each and everything can be done on the cloud. That's basically the cloud computing. You have each and everything that you can easily done on the cloud itself, and that's the way we reached. And these are one of the silent features of cloud: on demand self service. What it means, on demand self service means that you don't have to basically call someone, like like the way it works in the company. Oh my, this thing is not working, I had to reach out to basically IT person or something. You don't have to call to anyone. You can just if you want to expand your horizon, when you want to if you're sharing the file, you want to create a virtual machine, you can do that. If you have an existing environment, existing computer, and an application which is running on the internet, you want to increase the hard drive RAM, you can do it. Like a on demand self service, you have like a self service counters you have in the in some of the restaurants and all, right? That's same thing. On demand self service, whatever you want to do, you can do it easily. And the other good feature is like pay as you go. you know the other thing is a broad network access. So this, the good thing is that it's like in the certain cloud vendors, basically they have their servers all over the globe, wherein so that the users who are accessing their application, the cloud application, they can get uninterrupted services. It should not be like that. Oh, I can access from India, I cannot access from the US. I cannot access from the US, I cannot access from UK, anything. Certain cloud vendors have some restrictions, where in certain countries they don't have their data centers, but still they provide you the services. You can use it from a different locations. The third is basically resource pooling, wherein you can have I created a application basically, which is basically going to host a website over the internet. Now I realize more people are hitting the URL, and my website is getting great business. So you can add more and more resources, more and more clusters you can create. Fourth basically is a rapid elasticity, which basically means that you can expand it easily, without any kind of hassle, without hampering your environment. You can easily do it. Last one is basically the measured service. Like you can measure basically whatever you have consumed, whatever you have not consumed. It's basically the measured service. Okay. Now, before I jump to the GCP, I hope you guys got a very good understanding about cloud computing now, right? All of you are clear, right? I hope so. So now let's jump to GCP. That's the core thing that we have. So let's talk about what GCP is. Like we are saying, okay, GCP, GCP, GCP. People get confused. What GCP is. Let's dive in here. GCP stands for, the full form of GCP is Google Cloud Platform. That's the name that Google has given, and this is a service which is offered by Google. This is just a suite of cloud computing services that run on the same infrastructure that Google uses internally for its end user products. Like you use Gmail, file storage, YouTube, Google search, and that's the same the infrastructure that Google is basically using for its end user products. So that's your GCP. I repeat, it's just a suite of your cloud computing services. So I hope you got it. What cloud computing is, what GCP is. Now, before I jump to other thing or GCP Terraform, let's talk about, even if before I jump, why Terraform, or sorry, what is Terraform? Let's talk about why Terraform. Why we basically need Terraform, or like what is the use case of having a Terraform. So let's talk about that a bit. So this is again a symbol of it. So the Terraform, we basically need a sophisticated tool that we can use to perform the operations. We need basically a tool which is very fast. We need a tool basically that's not dependent on any on the conditions that we have to meet. So your Terraform basically is basically the open source. It's just an open source tool, which is a very cool thing about it. It has basically declarative code, and its infrastructure is basically descriptive, and it's easy to manage. One of the good thing about this is that its operation is very fast. That's what we need in the real world, to have a very fast operation. Now let's talk about why sorry, you got why we need a Terraform. Let's talk about what is Terraform, what exactly Terraform is. So let's talk about it. So Terraform, like I said, is just an open source tool that lets you provision Google Cloud services with some declarative configuration file. For what are declarative configuration files? For example, your virtual machines, your containers, your storage, your networking. So Terraform is going to allow you to provision the Google Cloud services easily. So there are certain tools which are available for Terraform with GCP. If you want to use Terraform with GCP, there are various tools which are available. One of the thing is your cloud foundation toolkit basically, or you say CFT, or some people say TK. That's one of the same thing basically. The advantage of cloud foundation toolkit is that it has ready-made templates. You don't have to prepare your own templates, your own structure, everything. It basically has the entire ready-made templates. So, and the other thing is that with this you can just build your own enterprise. Let's say I'm a company, I'm a services company, like there are many services companies, right? And I'm providing some services to the other people, all over the globe. So I want to, while providing the solutions, I want to build the enterprises, the companies in an isolated way. Like I want to be the super admin, but I want a solution of A company should work in a different way. Solution of B company should work in a different way. Solution of C company should work in a different way, and D, E, F, like so on, right? So you can basically build your entire enterprises in an isolated way, so that your all the enterprises are running into a different configuration, or in other words, all your different enterprises are running in the isolated way. So I don't want that your A enterprise data should be configured with a B1, or B should configured with a C1. You can just build your own enterprise very easily. That's one of the cool advantage about cloud foundation toolkit. You can just even define your own adaptation strategy. You can if you want to make some consistency, that what I want is that if I'm going to make the enterprises for different uh, people, different vendors, what I can do is, in order to create a different enterprises, what I want is, like, I can create a template. In that template I can just define the common configuration. So if you want to maintain some consistency, like for every of the enterprise that I'm going to build, I want to have my logo in addition to the logo. You can make that consistency. So it's not like that it's 100% mandatory to have a customization. You can have a consistent, that's totally fine as well. It supports that. you know and along with that, it basically helps you in saving the time. But that's one of the good thing, because you can easily build your templates. You can just easily write it out, and then you can just easily integrate with the different enterprises that we have. We have one more thing which is very important in this, which is Terraform Validator, which is also referred to as TV. What Terraform Validator is, basically you can leverage Terraform Validator to enforce policies on your Terraform configuration, you know for Google Cloud. Like for example, I want to customize something, depending on the requirement, and depending on the, like, one the customer has a requirement wherein he wants to make some kind of changes, and I don't want that those kind of changes should interfere with the second enterprise changes. So I can basically build these two enterprises, which will have some common features. But if I'm going to make the customizations, it's not going to interfere with the second enterprise customizations. So basically TFI, or Terraform Validator, helps you, to enforce policies on your Terraform configuration, just for the Google Cloud. And this basically relies on policies which are compatible with the config validator. So you can define your constraints once, then you can run it everywhere. I just defined the constraints. I want to have it on the all the different enterprises, different solutions that I'm going to build. You can run it everywhere. You can have a centralized source for editing. So you can do a lot of things, like with the Terraform validator. Like, as the name suggests, even once you have defined the constraints, that you want to use it on a different solutions that you're going to build up, you can easily perform a pre-deployment check before you do the deployment. And then with the help of a GCP, you can just build the entire solutions easily. You can just have a ongoing monitoring involved. You are going to have uh, like entire script built, which is going to help you in customizing your entire environment with the consistency. That's a advantage of the Terraform validator. Now the other thing that you have is a terraformer. So what terraformer does is, like, what is the advantage of having terraformer, like why we use it, like what's the common benefit of terraformer. So terraformer basically helps you to import existing Google Cloud resources into Terraform. So This is just nothing. This Terraformer basically is a, CLI tool. A CLI basically means that command line interface. That's a CLI tool that generates your TJ JSON or TJ TS state files based on the existing infrastructure. So with the help of this CLI tool, you can just generate Terraform files from your existing infrastructure. So that's one of the good feature that we have basically with the Terraformer. Because we used to have the challenge wherein how you can import the the files, how you can manage. So you can easily import your existing cloud resources, basically Google Cloud resources. You can easily import the existing Google Cloud resources into a Terraform with this CLI tool, which is Terraformer you know Now the other that you have is basically the Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell basically is again one of the widely used, which is which basically provides the full power access. So wherein you can have the entire full access, like you can be the one who can centrally control and manage it. It's basically an environment which is ready for developers, so developer who don't have to do it, like as you can see here, Go, Java, different PHP, Python, JavaScript. So it has basically everything inbuilt. So it's basically a ready to build environment for your your developers. The other is basically like I said, it has basically all the tools. It's not like that tools are going to be stale or outdated. All the tools are going to be up to date, and it has the all the cloud code tools. So that's the advantage of your Cloud Shell. Now if we basically before we jump on the support part, so it's not like that the story ends here. You can go beyond the mile as well, wherein for example, I developed a solution, I need some help wherein how to integrate. I'm running into any kind of issues basically. So your Terraform basically basically it has a support for GCP as well, wherein you can just easily get the support. So the Terraform provider basically has like along with the Google point cloud, basically it has jointly developed by HashiCorp and Google. So there are four major scenarios, if I have to summarize, that you can use for the support. So if you have any provider related issues, so if you have any provider related issues or any any kind of issue with the provider integrations, you can open the issue on the GitHub. you know that's going to be supported. Or if you have any questions about Terraform, check the HashiCorp community portal. So if you want to just perform a general troubleshooting advice, then in that case you can look for Terraform's debugging documentation. And at last the least, you can basically join the Google Cloud community stack for Terraform channel. So these are the four areas that you can use it for the supporting purpose. Like I repeat, if you have basically provider related issues, you can open the issue on the GitHub. If you have any kind of general troubleshooting advice, then in that case you can look for Terraform debugging documentation. If you have any questions about Terraform, you can check the HashiCorp community portal. And lastly, if you can basically join the Google Cloud community, Slack Terraform channel for all the the updates, the things, the changes that they are making, and what kind of new things that they are doing. So that was all about the topic that we have for today. Thanks for attending to this session. It was an immense pleasure to connect with all of you. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye, guys. Take care.